My name is Reda Elazouar. I'm from South London and I'm in Pirates. I play Kidda.
Yeah, you do, and you do it fantastically. What a great laugh this film is to watch. I don't know, I imagine it was to make it as well.
Yeah, 100%. 100. I mean, just from the moment Jordan, Elliot, and I were in the audition room doing the chemistry read on our final audition, we just all clicked and knew it would be a lot of banter. So literally every day on set. I mean, watching the film is fun, but being on set was it's indescribable.
Yeah. I love it. I love a chemistry read. Did Reggie Yates put you in a car and see how you bantered as you were going?
Well, the budget for the chemistry wasn't that high. We had two chairs in front and one chair in the back to kind of pretend that we were in a car. But yeah, it was good to finally get in it though, and it was good to finally get in the car and yeah, have fun.
I don't know you, but I guess we all know those characters that you and your mates play in there. How have you got mates like that? Was that your story too?
It's not exactly my story, but I think we've all met someone that's a bit like Kidda, who's a bit in the clouds. Someone like Tuton, who's quite boisterous and really wants the girl, but thinks he's cool and he's not. And Capo, who's a bit more of a serious guy and is the planner. I think I see myself in all three of those characters, and I see characters in me. And I think everyone knows someone like that, and I think they'll be able to identify and relate with those things in themselves. I think
Each one, yeah. What are you? How old are you? Can I ask that? Is that
fine. I'm 22.
22. So it's not that long ago since you have been driving around, looking for New Year's parties, driving around talking to your mates,
Yeah, I haven't been driving for long, maybe like so. Yeah.
and trying to get into clubs.
You know what? I'm not really a club person, man. They asked me this at the premiere, and I kind of was just like, a house party. House party's fine. And
Yeah,
Jordan said the thing, and Elliot said the same thing. So I'm glad we're all on the same page as people. But for our characters, it's all about the club. It's
yeah.
all about.
Well, I mean, the funny thing is, perhaps they're not club people at all. They just think they are, but they're trying to get into this club. But maybe it's not their natural home, as we see in the film.
It kind of adds to what you just said. Actually, adds to the kind of thing that we realize is that we all think we're cool, but we're not. At the start of the movie, we just want to chill at home and just chill basically. But it becomes a thing of trying to get the girl and trying to get into the club. So yeah, they are probably faking it.
Yeah. So you don't remember New Year's Eve, the millennium? Were you born even?
No, I was 5.5 months old. Yeah.
Well, it was a big night, I have to tell you, especially in London. It was a big night. Everyone had to be in the best place ever. It was a real sort of stress to kind of like where we're going to be, and planes were going to fall out the sky and everything was going to stop. So it's a really interesting night to have picked. I think it's a really great sort of masterstroke on your screenwriter and director's part there.
100%. I mean, I was there. I was not far from Club Coliseum when I was 5.5 months old on the shoulders of my mum, watching the fireworks.
Oh, she took you. You know this.
Yeah, she took me. So I was there. I don't remember anything, but I was there. But 100%, I think the turn of the millennium, something that you only experience once if you're lucky to experience it. Reggie nailed it because trying to, for any new year, trying to go somewhere and have fun and get tickets for something that you're not able to get to normally, that's a really like adrenaline infused activity. But to make it the millennium, the new year, and to put it in the subculture of garage just ticks all the boxes.
It did, yeah. So what did you know about garage? Did you know that music? Because it seems to me, I mean, I'm drum and bass before that, and then garage. It was kind of my time, and then I see it now, and I keep saying to people, keep saying to my kids, it's like, that we listened to this track. This was it. Flowers. That was we danced to that. They're like, how do you know this, Daddy? I'm like, because it's my music. That's how.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I knew nothing about garage. I had heard the song Flowers, right, before one, but I didn't really know what garage was. If you asked me to explain it, I would have no idea. I thought garage was kind of like drum and bass. I didn't know how linked it was to grime and stuff because I didn't grow up on garage music. I grew up, on, a mix of Moroccan music, Bob Marley, music, and all of that kind of stuff. So I never grew up on garage. So I actually went into the audition and Reggie kind of asked me, what do you know about garage? And I was like, well, I've been listening to Kano. And he was like, well, this is actually, garage is a bit before that. And I didn't know much about garage at all. But now it means so much to me because I felt like I lived in that era because we did the movie and it's so nostalgic to me now. Like if I hear Gabrielle or Battle, I'm like, oh my God, back in the day, another life when I really haven't.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't think things have changed that much. Maybe you just cling on to youth, but I can't believe I'm seeing that, and it's a period film, But some of those jackets, some of the outfits, they seem to do a lot of good work on getting those Averexes together and getting that camel jacket. Everyone looked like a cigarette packet when they went out walking, for the evening. Strange kind of little fashions going on.
With the costume department were amazing. I mean, I have to shout out, Kobe Yates, Reggie's brother, who was in the costume department, Vivine, Joanna, Nat, and I'm sure there was a flurry of other people. I think a few of the garage legends actually gave some of their clothes to the production so that we could wear them. But honestly, that whole costume department just did an amazing job, because the moment you put those clothes on, the moment I put on the blue velvet, the moment I put on the mosh, and all the off-key stuff, and Tutan has his glasses on, it just adds so much. We were in character. I mean, that was such a big part of our character, because as you remember, I'm sure, like how loud people were with those clothes. It literally said a lot about them and who they were as people. So yeah, the costume department was massively important. Big shout out to them, and they really helped.
Yeah, that's interesting to know that and you get the swagger, you got the walk, you understood it a bit more.
Yeah. Exactly, because of the way, and because as well you get told, this is £500, and £500 is a lot now for a shirt. But imagine back in '99, how much that was, and how many weeks or months people had to work to save up for it. You treated these garms with the most respect. You put the tags out; it was fresh. I mean, Reggie says this story often where he used to wash his clothes and then put the tag back on, just to make sure the tag was out, just to make sure it was, it really looked like he had just bought it. And I think that attention to your garments and to the clothes you wore, it shows a lot about the time and the people of '99.
Have you kept anything, Reda?
You know what? I haven't. Yeah, I kept, actually, I tell a lie, I kept the gold chain that Kiddo wears and the earring, but I think because we wore it for some things after I lost them, but I did buy them back again, so I technically have that.
Yeah, you do, definitely. So you're gonna, because you're taking the film out and about, aren't you? I mean, I know that you were filming it and then you had to stop for COVID. So yeah. And this is a big film for you. You must have been thinking, was my career ever going to get going? So it must be lovely to have it out now and people going kind of shouting at you in the street, kind of going, well, when the film's out, I suppose Friday more officially, but you're going to get recognized. People are going to shout Kiddo at you. They're going to get you confused with your character now.
Yeah, well, do you know what it is? It's a blessing, after that long 7-month forced break, to be able to have a film released, because, of course, there were worries at the time. We had a group chat with Reggie and kind of going, is everything okay? Are we coming back? Because initially we thought it'd be a 2-week break. So to actually have a finished film, to have it come out and to have it be this Friday, I mean, it's amazing. And that's why people shouting Kid on the street. I mean, I don't blame him. Kid does some weird things in this movie. So how people
maybe they like you, maybe they run after you. I don't know. Maybe they're just kind of
they movie. I'll be happy, and I just can't wait for people to actually see it. I mean, the days are upon us. I mean, Friday is nearly here, which is mad to think, because this movie has been in our lives, in at least Elliot, Jordan, and Maya's life for 2 years now. So it's nice to see it finally released.
And have you three got the friendship that your characters got as well now?
And we, as I said before, we clicked in the chemistry read. But Reggie took us away to Suffolk. He took us away to Suffolk for 2-3 days, where we got to really bond and speak to the garage, legends like Lonyo and DJ Spoonie and all of that. And that 7-month break.
Suffolk. What is the heartbeat of garage now? Is it?
Well, it was actually one of Reggie's mentors' houses.
Oh, okay.
But we bonded, and after the 7-month break, we had to jump the same hurdles together. So it made us bond even more and more. And we play football when we can, once a week or once every couple of weeks.
Who's the best?
I'd probably say Jordan.
Yeah, really? Is he useful?
Yeah, I think I'd probably go Jordan, then Elliot, and then probably me.
And then you. Are you in the goal? They stick you in goal. You last pick, Reda, again.
But Kid is eating. So how can you play football and eat at the same time? It's impossible. But nah, we have that bond now, and it's literally, Jordan said it as well, last week in an interview. He literally said brothers for life, and that's exactly what it is. We are extremely close. Our relationship is exactly as it is on screen.
What is it? I don't know where you are with UK cinema and how much that means to you and what you've seen over the years and youth movies over the years. But, I think I was watching Pirates and I was like, damn it, Mr. Yates. He's kind of nailed a little classic British youth movie, you know, and there's always a few that come through, and you're part of that now, you know, go back to Train Spotting, that kind of group thing. Were you conscious of that lineage of the film and what it means, or were you just getting on with making the best film that you can make? Because it sort of takes its place in that tradition.
I think that's really interesting. Actually, I think the beauty of the film is the context of it. It's a story about three boys of color in London talking about. The film talks about a subculture that has never been properly explored in film, and definitely not with people that look like us. So when I read it, I thought it was amazing because of those things. But away from that, it is just a beautiful movie, a funny movie, little dashes and slashes of like rom-com, comedy. And at the end of the day, it's a story about friendship that I think everyone will be able to relate to. And I think that's what the most important thing was. I think while we were filming, we were just so concentrated on being the most truthful to our characters, which really helped a lot with the research and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I did think about that at first when I first read it, but that thought kind of quickly went away, and I was like, cool, it's time to get down to the work. And if I just think of myself as the character and just be as truthful as possible, it will be the best movie that I can make at this time.
That's good. That's good work. Good acting. Good professionalism, Reda. But you're right. Seeing these boys of color doing it, I think it just is. It's just a new little slant, and I think it's the right time. I mean, we could all say, look, I wish it had happened 20 years ago, and maybe it could, or maybe there wasn't. You know, it needed Reggie Yates to make it because he knew that turf. No one else could make it like that way. But it does sit there with, you know, the human traffics and the train spotting, the businesses, and all of these things, the subcultures, as you say, that don't get a look in, and it takes someone to know who knows it to give it a true. You don't want it done badly.
No, exactly. No, not at all. I'm so thankful to Reggie for actually making this movie because, you know, I've said this before, but having the writer also be the director and having both of those, you know, come from a real experience that Reggie actually had, you know, and experiences that he witnessed and all of this kind of stuff. It's like you say, I think Reggie had to make this. I think it was down to Reggie to kind of make this. And he made it well. He made it well.
Did you know him? Did you know Reggie Yates? I mean, did you just think that's the guy I used to listen to on Radio 1?
I mean, I grew up watching Reggie.
Did you?
With The Crust and all of his extreme documentaries, you know, Extreme Russia, Extreme China. He's a staple of British television for me. Like, I knew him growing up, and I really respected his work, and you know, his work as a documentarian, as an actor, and as a presenter. So getting to finally work with him, he's such a nice guy. He's a very nice guy. He comes across as a nice guy on TV, but he's even nicer in real life. But yeah, no, I definitely was aware of him, and we all let him know how much we respect him and the things he's done for TV and just for the culture in general.
Yeah, well, he's representing very, very much with this. I'm listening to the soundtrack a lot as well. I'll be playing some on the show today as well. A little UK garage special. What are you listening to, Reda?
Me, as of late, I've been listening to a lot of garage, man. I've been reminiscing. Like I say, I feel like I was born way before '99. I've been listening to a lot of Battle, Gabrielle. I've been listening to Unknown T's album, Adolescence. You know, listen to a lot of Wizkid. And yeah, that's been my main kind of rotation.
And what was the one when you watched the film where you were like, oh, I didn't know this tune? You know, like maybe Gabrielle, as you say, the Peven Everett and Roy Davis mix that comes in at the end credits. That's a tune, you know, and you're just like, oh yes. Was there one that you were like, didn't know this one? This is the one I discovered making this film, and it's a favorite now.
Every garage song making this film. I didn't know any of these songs at all. None of them, like literally none. So I think I had heard maybe one or two of them, but I could never put them to a name. But I would say the one song that gets the best reaction out of me is Gabrielle, which I'm just like, oh my God. Because I remember not listening to that song until the very, very end of our shooting because I knew that'd be the last song of the movie. And when I hear it, I'm like, oh my God, man, I think I'm going to cry. Such a warm and loving song. It's an ethereal song.
It is brilliant, and it sounds fantastic at the end of your film. So we should probably play it at the end of your interview. Reda Elazouar, that's just been great connecting with you. I loved watching you and your mates cruising around in a Peugeot. I did that so much in that same car, not yellow, but it was red and white. But that same car, yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much, though, man. And I would say to the listeners that are listening, if you want to come to screenings and Q&As, there are a lot, like Finsbury Park, Genesis, Peck&Plex as well. They're all available. King's Cross Every Man as well. They're all available at www.pirates.film.
And you're there.
Yeah, and I'll be there. It'll be with the cast and Reggie as well. And we're on Instagram at Pirates Film. So yeah, give it a follow, keep supporting. And yeah, thank you very much to you, man. Thank you for bringing me on.
Huge respect, Reda. Nice to speak to you, mate.
Me too, man.